Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this club sponsor, mentor, and coach training offered by our amazing Region 1 advisor, Rose Kirland. My name is Anujo Kennan. I am the Program Quality Director for District 2, and I'm so excited about this training because these are such important roles. So the club sponsor and mentor really help a baby brand new club give them their wings so they can take flight. And then a club coach helps a club that maybe have lost their wings and actually get those wings back and start thriving again. So I'm super excited that Rose is doing this training for us. And so for those of you who are not familiar with Rose, I have a little background on her. Rose has been a Toastmaster for nearly 14 years. She has held many leadership positions in Toastmasters, including District Director in 2017 through 2018. Her key to happiness is nothing in life is more precious than life itself. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to do something. Instead, make every moment perfect and just do it. At just 16, Rose Kirland stepped out of her comfort zone to manage her aging parents' financial affairs. This challenge taught her that staying within our comfort zones can limit new experiences and growth. Embracing this lesson, Rose fostered resilience that propelled her career to vice president at a conglomerate financial institution and into significant Toastmasters leadership roles. Please give me a warm welcome to Distinguished Toastmaster and Region 1 Advisor, Rose Kirland.
Yes, go ahead, Sarah. You need to unmute. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to talk about sponsorship, Rose. I helped build a couple clubs at my corporation, and what you described was exactly what I was. You know, I had developed this passion for the club that already existed, and I knew we had these other buildings that were just a stone's throw away. So there were plenty of people that could be Toastmasters, and I just decided, let's try to start a club in one building. And when it worked in one building, we tried it in another building. But for me, the first time I did it, I learned a lot about organization and teamwork and community building, because that's really what it's about. You don't want it to be your demo meeting or your charter meeting to be too rigid, because you want them to experience what the club's actually going to be. And so I planned the entire meeting schedule and chartering and roles and all of that. So it was all organized. And that is like a different level. If you've ever been just a Toastmaster, this is like Toastmaster times 10 because you're not only worried about all of the people showing up to do the roles, but also how many people are going to come as guests, and are you going to convert them to charter members? Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Anu, Distinguished Program Quality Director. And I know some of us may be saying, we don't have our DTM yet, but in my eyes, you're all distinguished. Everything you do is so recognizably appreciated. It is in the middle of the afternoon here, and here you are on your dinner time, probably taking time out to get better at what you're so passionate about. I wanted to just get a show of hands. How many of us have been sponsors already for clubs, for new clubs? We have Sarah. Anyone else? All right, so we just have Sarah as our experienced person who has sponsored a new club. Well, Sarah, you may be called upon from time to time to share some of those experiences, great ones, not so good ones, and things that maybe you may want to change along the way. I'm going to ask Anu to please drop into the chat a link to Toastmasters International that you can use as a resource that will go through some of the highlights regarding sponsors, mentors, and coaches. And today, just so that we're all prepared and we can get through the sessions, pretty fairly reasonably with a gathering as much as we can, is that each segment will be about 18 to 20 minutes, around 18 minutes. So we have time for after close to get to the closing part. So I will start with the sponsor portion first, and then in between, if you have any questions, please feel free to interject by putting it into chat, and Anu will be watching the chat for me, and that way we'll be sure to voice your concerns or your questions or your comments or your contributions. So we are going to start right away, 3 sessions, sponsor, mentor, and then coaching, all within 60 seconds. Doesn't it sound like that commercial about 60 seconds, that TV show, all in 60 seconds. So we are going to get started here. And let me share my PowerPoint. And I am the type of person that does not like death by PowerPoint sharing. So if you find that is a little alarming, don't worry. You can always say, can you pause the PowerPoint for a while? And I'm happy to do that. This was a lovely and so nice of a promotion that went out to PRM, if you coordinated this or whoever put this graphic together, thank you so much for doing that and letting the world know that we have something special to share tonight. We're going to cover the objectives for sponsors, go over a little bit about the duties, types of clubs, and how we are suggested to complete the charter process. Now, what is a sponsor and what are the duties? So let me just share with you what a sponsor is as far as the Toastmaster world puts it out there. And the sponsor, as far as Toastmaster world has it, which is in that link that was provided to you in the chat from our program quality director, Anu, is that a club sponsor is assigned to each new club attempting to charter a new club. And a sponsor plays a fundamental role in successfully creating a new Toastmasters club. The club extension committee, if there's a club extension committee here, that's wonderful. Maybe you want to raise your hand and let everyone know you're here. The club extension committee assigns club sponsors based on the inquiries that are coming in from members progressing towards their Toastmasters accreditation as a Toastmaster. A club sponsor is an experienced Toastmaster with leadership skills. That means you've been in Toastmasters for a little while, at least maybe 1 or 2 years, but you have a passion for Toastmasters and you're strongly dedicated to helping charter a new club. Because after all, our district mission, the first half of the district mission is we build new clubs. So each new club may have 2 sponsors. And these are some of the duties a sponsor would have. You would participate in the organizing of the new club. You would set up regular meetings for your team as well as for the new club that's chartering. And you would help with completing the paperwork and the plan for the charter celebration, which is a charter presentation. Charter presentation is not the same as a demonstration meeting. So now let me pause this PowerPoint and let me ask you this question. And maybe we can hear from 1 or 2 of us, given the time limit. Let me ask you, as far as knowing what a club sponsor for a new charter is, the basics, what personal growth do you feel will help you if you take on this leadership role as a sponsor? Something that maybe could help you improve a skill that you're thinking about, or perhaps help you enhance your leadership development? Would someone like to share? Maybe 2 people. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing that. Yes, you learn a lot of skills that can be applicable outside of Toastmasters. So one more person, perhaps, if you can share what's one skill that you want to improve that perhaps this role to be a sponsor can help develop for you. Anyone would like to share? What is one skill that you want to improve that this role, knowing a little bit about sponsorship, can help me develop? Yes, yes. Go ahead, Gregory. Thank you.
I guess I was going to say organization, but since Sarah already said that, I'll just say to develop more would be not only the organization, but also the communication part of it, trying to get all these different people together. Like I said, you have the team of Toastmasters, the team in the club, and I guess communication
Awesome.
wide as far as that goes. And then the other part I think would be the organization and just making sure that I knew
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
I
great,
was
Gregory.
able to
That's wonderful.
communicate that to the teams.
That's wonderful, Gregory. And some of you may have heard me when I visited District 2, but truly, I am adamant that communication is our currency for success. And just what you shared brings that all together. So let us go back to the PowerPoint share here. And if you have any additional comments, please feel free to drop it into the chat. Would love to get a readout from Anu when time allows to hear some of your feedback, some of your participation. So duties, organizing the club. So we learn organizational skills, as we heard. Setting up regular meetings. We become an event planner, complete the paperwork, and plan the charter presentation. Wow, that's a lot of administrative things. An executive position for an aide to a CEO could be doing all of this and have to do it. So now what's in it for you is what we heard from many of us. Why would I want to be a sponsor? What's in it for me? We heard about how much it can enhance your leadership skills, how much it can help develop you in your project management. So many of us at our careers are involved in project management, and it helps us to expand our communication skills and our marketing expertise as well.
Rose, I'm going to interrupt you here. So we have Laura has a question. Laura, do you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yes, this is about the PDF that you put in the chat. In order to, if I click on that, then all of a sudden I'm off the screen here and it's asking me to download the whole thing. And I want to be here and pay attention to this. And yet at the end, I don't have access to the chat anymore. When it's over, stuff that's
I can.
chat, how can I get that? This is always a problem.
Yeah, the PDF is just the agenda. So the links I'm providing, I'll also send as a follow-up. So don't worry about having to access them if you're having some difficulty right now.
No, you already said the agenda before and I already saw that. I didn't know this was agenda, the PDF of the information that maybe Rose was sharing. So I wanted to make sure I had it, and because it didn't say exactly what it was. Okay. And but again, is there a way to download something that you've placed in the chat, not lose the?
Yeah, and I'll send that to you afterwards as well. So
thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you, everyone. We will be sure to include all of this out to you after the session. So don't worry if you don't have a chance or have technical difficulties in clicking on links. Trust that we will send you the information as well after this session. And thank you, Laura, for bringing that up. All right, in building new clubs, we have two types of clubs: corporate clubs or community-based clubs. We do not have four types of clubs. Advanced clubs and specialty clubs come under community clubs. Advanced clubs, a member belongs to one club, joins another club because that other club is more advanced in what they profess that they will help us enhance our skills. Maybe a Better Speakers Bureau club that focuses on speaking so that you can keynote, or maybe a specialty club that focuses on feedback so that you don't have employees quit because you had a bad evaluation for them or something like that. Specialty clubs might be your favorite culture foods. For example, I belong to a Korean drama pop beauty club, which they teach me how to get more beautiful by using egg yolks. So things like that. So there's those type of clubs that a sponsor could participate in helping the members charter. So in a new charter club, you're going to receive a new charter club information kit, which is the reason why some of those links are put into chat, because it's about these particular forms and things that you can find. And also some of the forms that have been upgraded are also in the link. So please, we will send that to you as well. But be aware that you're not alone. Toastmasters International has a total packet for you. Now, who are involved? As you can see here, this must be District 2, right? All these happy people. And who is involved? The Toastmasters, all the Toastmasters in your district, some maybe from outside of your district, because it's teamwork. Again, a new club can have up to 2 sponsors, 2 mentors, which we'll be talking about next. The district director and the club growth director are closely connected and involved in new charters. And other Toastmaster leaders and district leaders are also part of this team. Now, let's focus on one of the what some have said to be an excitement for them, because at work, they would like to form a club for their fellow colleagues. And so this is what we call establishing a corporate club. The first thing we want to do is identify the target. Who's the company? What's the size? Where's the location? Is it even in our district geography? And is there revenue in this company to support the dues for the new members? And most importantly, you want to be in touch with the key contacts, people who actually make the decision. Now, also with the company, you want to find out, do some research. What are their strategies for their growth, for their bottom line, for their ROI? You know, I went to a club visit at, I believe it was Microsoft. And there at Microsoft, on the walls were all these core values and driven motivational affirmations. So their key initiatives were spelled out, some of their strategies, what they prioritize, what their focus and mission are. But prior to attending that club meeting, I personally did some research to find out more than what we just know about the computer. So these are some of the things that we do as a sponsor when a corporate club wants to form a new Toastmasters club. And the other thing that's really important is read the recent news articles. Now, I do remember attending some of these corporate club meetings, and I said something that was in their website and something I read on the news articles, and they said, oh, we haven't updated our website for so long, but nonetheless, we're Toastmasters. So you know how to flex with that and roll with that and say that based on that information on the website, it was quite impressive. In a corporate club, introduce yourself. Here you are. District Trio can be the one that might introduce themselves. A Division A through F might be the ones that introduce themselves to a potential corporate club. Now, after you've done your introduction, we all know what's next, right? A sponsor helps coordinate with your other team members on this charter journey to set up the appointment, prepare for the meeting, and share at that meeting when you're there, make it part of your script about other corporations similar to them and their success. And then be sure to wrap it up, because especially corporations, time is money. get to the point when it comes to money, as I was just briefly talking about, because we need to know, we want to form a company club, but oh, the company is not going to pay for the dues. Well, how many employees do you think might join? So we need to determine this ahead of time before sooner than later. This is the thing about for all charters. We have what we know as a demonstration meeting. Now I'm going to pause here because I want to ask, and I saw Marty, I believe, is here, who has done some demonstration meetings. And I'd like to ask Marty, could you share 1 or 2 tips about how to prepare as a sponsor to give a demonstration meeting to these interested people that want to form a club? Are you okay with sharing? Tracy, yes. Go ahead, Tracy. Please do share. Unmute.
Thank you, Rose, for the opportunity to answer this question about organizing a demo meeting. Can you just repeat the question just so that I make sure I answer what you want to hear?
Sure, absolutely. So as a sponsor, one of the responsibilities we have is being sure we demonstrate what it's like to be at a Toastmasters meeting to all these excited individuals who want to form a charter club, be it advanced, specialty, or a corporate. What are some best practices tips that you can share with us about demonstration meetings as a sponsor, particularly?
Thank you. Okay, so far what I have learned about a best practice on the demo meeting is to make sure that each section is represented, and then keep it kind of brief. Make sure that it's represented but not drawn out. So we have a short speech, a short table topics, and a short evaluation of the speech. It's great to have an excellent general evaluator participate in the demo meeting. I found that to be very effective and inspiring to the attendees.
Awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so we see here exactly what you said. Oops, let me go back a little bit. I think this guy is a little bit anxious on me, but we'll see. Okay, so thank you, Tracy. You did exactly what Toastmasters expects of demonstration meetings. Keep it within the time limits. Include those 3 aspects of what makes a Toastmasters meeting: prepared speeches, impromptu speaking, and feedback evaluation. And with your team that you have, you can put together a great demonstration meeting. Your sponsors and your mentors for that particular prospective club is part of your team. And as you mentioned, select roles and be choosy about how you appoint the roles. And remember, not everyone in the demonstration team needs to speak. They can be there to help with the Zoom or drop in chat or do the digital guest book if it's virtual. So thank you for that share. That was excellent. Now, these are some of the things that Tracy also mentioned, the different roles. And we as Toastmasters know some of these roles. If your time is very brief, you don't have to have every single role. For example, if you're chartering an advanced club, you may not have necessarily an odd counter, but you may have a grammarian instead, because advanced clubs want to know about what they're saying, how they say it. So a grammarian might be more beneficial to them in the demonstration meeting. Again, as a sponsor for both corporate and community clubs, these are the things to look at before the demonstration and during the demonstration. And again, volunteers need not always speak. Many of the volunteers that I work with have very soft skills, which means they can do a lot of other things, but they are deathly afraid to speak. That's why they're in Toastmasters, because they're trying to learn to overcome that. What do we do after the demonstration? Of course, when the demonstration is done, we re-summarize by introducing who our core leaders are going to be to help that club come together, who the sponsors are, who the mentors are. Have a Q&A. Share some success stories. People always love to hear stories about how you couldn't speak, but because you learned to speak better, you could speak, but because you learned to speak more effectively, you gained a promotion, things like that. Do complete the paperwork to organize a club. And when everything is together, do submit it with the charter fee. The charter fee application is $125. And of course, there are dues. And if you're a brand new Toastmaster, there's the initial one-time $20 fee. This is all on the sponsor. So the sponsor, you're the captain of the ship, navigating everyone to bring it together so that we have a club. Some community club tips are: always plan, strategize, publicize, contact your local chamber of commerce if you have one. Even if you're not a member, drop off a flyer, send a flyer, talk to someone. I always love it when I go to the chamber and I see the receptionist. I just give them the flyer and a cup of coffee. And before you know it, so many people in the chamber call me and say, hey, what about this event? So display your posters, announcements, and sometimes you'll find it really valuable to target some specialized groups, especially if you're forming a specialized club. Continue to be your happy self. Continue to feed and fuel enthusiasm. Some of the other things that we do is announce when the next meeting, help in getting everyone more committed by asking for temporary officer roles to be filled, follow up, collect money, and always conclude with some recognition. I have always found that the best we can do for each other is to recognize how well and how much they do and that we appreciate it. This is a complete charter packet. There are 6 forms, and the link in the chat will give you the area in Toastmasters website where you can find these 6 forms. And also Form 3 is an Excel spreadsheet that has made it easier for everyone to submit their charter application. Don't worry. The sponsor, together with Club Growth, District Director, and the extension team will help everyone through this process. And now, the best thing. Your club has chartered and we're having a party. So charter club celebration, invite lots of guests. If it's in person and you're planning a meal, make it so that it's easy to have, it's not so extensive. Publicize, form a committee if you need to for this event, and have just a very short, brief meeting. Some people prepare a printed program, some do not. It's okay. And lastly, I would like to share with you the resources. The resources are your Toastmasters International website link, which is here on this screen, which will have also a manual of how to sponsor a new club. And this is the team that I met when I visited District 2 a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And this is Roxanne Springer's Club Growth Directors, team members, some of them. And of course, we all know that District 2 is well on its way to be distinguished. And that concludes the portion of club sponsors. All right, take a breath, refill your coffee cup, but don't go too far because we are going to go right into mentoring. If you have any questions and we have not had a chance to address it, please do drop it into the chat because Anu will be sure to recapture us along the way so we could take care of that. I think John Davis is raising his hand, or are you just whisking a fly away? You're just whisking a fly away. That's what I do all the time. All right, thank you so much. So now we are going to move on to our next part, which is the mentors, club mentoring. Now, club mentoring is an interesting thing because it's almost like, oh, what shall I say club mentoring is? It almost feels like it is club coaching, but there is a difference between being a coach and being a mentor. So let me share my screen here for a little bit. And let me ask this other question. How many here have been a new charter club mentor before? Oh, we have Roxanne, we have Michael. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone else? Anu? No? Sarah? Okay, so we have three. Isn't that wonderful? Three people that can share some of their great experiences and what they might want to have us to bear in mind as a best practice. All right, so now let me begin our share. And of course, I know everyone can see the screen because if we couldn't see my share screen, you'd be shouting out, your screen isn't showing. So thank you, everyone. Here we go. Club mentoring, mentoring a new club. So we're going to cover this is what's a mentor? What are the benefits of mentoring? I'd like to hear from our three persons who raised their hand that what did you find as a benefit? And then we'll go into some of the official duties. What's the next step? And maybe some time to talk story a little bit. Now, here we have it. This is straight out of the manual. A mentor is someone who shares their expertise and knowledge with one or more people who have less experience. So now for taker number one of the three that showed that they were mentors before, I'd like for you to please share with us, how did you support your new club members as far as your mentor role is concerned? How did you do some support? Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, what I did was provide advice to people who are new in the major meeting roles and to the club officers, because of course they were, this was their first term as being club officers, providing that information and being available to them so they could contact me, whether it be by phone or by email. And so they would feel comfortable with getting the information ahead of time rather than, only waiting to the actual meeting time for it. And I thought that I was a mentor for a full year, and being a regular meeting attendee, I think I attended like way over 95% of the meetings we had during that year. And the consistency of being available really helped, I think. It also allowed me to observe what they were succeeding with and what they had challenges with.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Sharon. Someone put into the chat, superstar. All right. Thank you so much. And so now the other word that was on that flyer was motivation. As a mentor, please share with us volunteer number two. Anyone between Roxanne or Sarah? What you can share with us about best practices about motivation? Go ahead, Roxanne.
Going to try. I am having a sneezing attack, so we'll see how.
That's okay.
The enthusiasm is vital, and the ability to point out where they are advancing and how they are growing moment by moment and really celebrate that is something that gives them a springboard of interest. Their interest goes way up when they are acknowledged for the growth that they have, and they're put out just the steps, being mindful of giving stair steps, not the whole thing, but giving them the next step of what would take them to the next level. And that is something that makes such a difference when you're learning something and celebrating each step that's taken. For example, a small example, people are using scripts in the beginning, and I'm a new mentor. Let's clarify here. I'm a new mentor. So people are using scripts, and the same people have done these roles and they've used the scripts a few times. And I'm able to say, I'm pretty sure now you have the gist of it. So you still can say what you want to say, and you can do
Yes.
just like you would do a speech with highlighting
Exactly.
just those things. And again, just taking them step by step, but the celebration of their growth is what motivates more than anything else, the acknowledgement.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that share. I am going to hold the third mentor experience member for a later participation. But here we had a share of the value of being proactive, the value of taking that interest beyond just the day that it happens or when the meeting starts. And then how important and valuable the motivation is. It keeps us going. It keeps members wanting to come back to their meeting. And I have to say that when I did visit District 2, one of the happiest persons when we went to visit clubs was Roxanne. She was practically jumping up and down and cheering and everything. People were so happy because smiling, laughing, cheerfulness is contagious. So thank you for that share, both of you. Now, what are the benefits? We talked about the benefits in sponsoring. What have you found, Sarah, has been the benefit when you went through and mentored a new club? Any benefits, any skills that you developed because of it?
Yes, so many, Rose. Thank you for this opportunity. I think the one I wasn't expecting is growing my network and having friends in all of these different areas of the company that I still keep in touch with, whether or not they're Toastmasters or not. It just, like you said, it's contagious. And these connections that you make, they are built out of a shared interest to better ourselves, and we can see each other growing. And I think that's just such a special thing as being a mentor, is to help each person grow to where they want to grow, and that might not be where I want them to go, but to get them where their journey's taking them is so rewarding.
Yes, yes, I hear you. Some of the greatest joys we have in life is not necessarily how much we got out of it, but how much we see others get out of it. So thank you for that share. I'd like to ask anyone other than the three who have been mentors before, what one skill, knowing what mentors are doing for people, what one skill do you hope to improve by taking on this role as a mentor for a new club? Anyone would like to share just one thing? Did Linda raise her hand or just waving at me? Just waving. Okay. All right. Anyone else? And Tracy or Greg or Michael or John, if you want to share again, or Marty, Laura, Trina, Janice, any of you, please do. Hi, Marty, you're there. Okay. So anyone would like to share, what one skill do you feel, even if you have not mentored a new club, you think from this role could help you develop? And if you have any ideas and you want to drop it into chat, please do. Linda, you unmuted.
Yes, I'll go ahead. I have a problem with consistency, and especially consistency in responding to things in a timely manner. So that would be a big push for me. It would be a big challenge as well.
That is fantastic. There you have it. Taking on a leadership role can help you in so many ways, even if it's just to develop one new skill. If becoming accountable for this role to others, you grow and become accountable to yourself. Thank you so much. That is a fantastic share that I think a lot of us can take away and know that we can add it to our bucket of gems that we have and how we personally are developing in our own skills, leadership, communication, interpersonal relationships. So there are many benefits. You're sharing your expertise, you're translating values and strategies, you're getting productive actions, and you're proving to yourself that, hey, I'm a valuable leader, and to others. Importantly, and is very appreciated by World Headquarters, is that you are one of the best investors in the future of this organization. I learned a lot when I was a mentor and a sponsor, all these fresh perspectives. Sometimes I only have one view, and I learned from being part of this leadership team that, hey, be open-minded to other fresh perspectives. Definitely teamwork skills, lots of building there, and we can always apply our skills to something else. From a Toastmaster level, mentors and sponsors can earn credit to becoming the distinguished Toastmaster. Now, what's the official duties? The main thing is team approach. This is not a thing you do alone. We work better when we work together. So the team approach is to work with the club sponsors during the period of the chartering, and even beyond if you have questions for your sponsor. What does a sponsor do from our previous session is helps a charter a new club, follows through on the leads, generates interest and enthusiasm. And yes, a sponsor is involved in recruiting. You recruit members, submits all appropriate work. So mentors support and guide new clubs after the chartering, but it starts with a team approach. Here are some of the duties. And as you can see, one of my favorite mentors is Miyagi in Karate Kid. But some of the official duties of a mentor is work with your sponsors during your chartering, support and guide the new clubs after your chartering. You're going to have questions, answer those questions. You're going to be asked to share your knowledge. If you don't know the answer, what do? Find it out. Teach how, not do. Teach how to conduct quality club meetings. Teach how, don't do. Teach how to build and retain membership. Let members know about the Pathways learning experience and also work with them through step by step, as Roxanne shared, not those stairwell, about the Distinguished Club Program and the Club Success Plan. And bear in mind, thinking about the future and actually visualizing it tends to make your future more true than we sometimes expect. And so at that gathering of building blocks, there was this beautiful reminder, which I love food, so I really looked at it, which is congratulations on being distinguished. The forethought for 2024, 2025. At your club meetings, the clubs that are chartering, they make the choice if they're going to have an invocation, pledge to the flag, patriotic oath, or any kind of best meeting awards. The essential that comes with a club quality meeting is that prepare, be proactive, as Michael had shared. Plan your club meetings, not 1 hour before the club meeting is happening. And maybe think of other ideas, or as a mentor, you can share with them some tools. And as a mentor, create a member service perspective. A member service perspective means that we're here to serve, and in serving, we will be served. So building and maintaining membership is part of a mentor's role. We'd like to maintain at least the 20 members that they first started off with in chartering clubs. I saw on the dashboard that one of your clubs has 50 members. Oh my gosh. For me, that's 3 clubs in one. So foster a membership building culture, strive to gain new members. What are the benefits here? We love it because then we have strong leadership base, or leaders that are improving their leadership skills. We have personalities, new ideas, and the club becomes fun and interesting. As you can see here, many of these photos are when I visited across Washington, your clubs in District 52. I mean, District 2. 50, I'm thinking about 50 members, but District 2. All right. Again, continuing on, how great it is. We can attract more people, and more efficiency, member retention. And again, you're not alone. Everyone is accountable and responsible for your role being a successful role and in mentorship. So now, I'm very big on recognition, not because I think we should just do it, but because I sincerely believe in it. There are many different ways that you as a mentor can encourage your new club of helping retain membership. Be sure that you let them know about things like individual member sponsors. Individual member sponsors are people who might have referred a new member to the club. If they refer 5 or more members, they get a pin and a really special letter from Toastmasters World Headquarters. There's all these different membership drives available through Toastmasters, and they're staggered on purpose during different times of the year. Smedley, Talk Up, Beat the Clock. So now what's next, everyone? Now that we know all about this, we're excited, we've learned best practices from each other. Well, how does a mentor get appointed? This is a snapshot of part of the charter application. As you can see, if you don't have it at the time the club sends in their organization to form a club, it is then due within 60 days. Who is in charge of that? The district director and the club growth director need to be sure this is done so that the mentors are credited if it was not originally sent in when the application to organize was first done. So be sure you put that in because you want to get credit for that. These are your resources. Again, it was put into the chat, the link so that you can refer to it. As a mentor, you will receive district leader letters. Some of you already know you have that. I know by a show of hands or nods that you are getting them. The key is reading them. And the second key is applying what might be workable for you to have as far as productiveness. So we've gone through the cycle of what's a mentor, what are the benefits, what's the official duties, the next steps. And so now let's talk starring. So here we have some of the questions that typically get asked at these new charter meetings, either by a club officer directly to you as a mentor, or you see it in the group. So let's see who would like to take this scenario. Can the Vice President of Education refuse to approve a member's level or path completion if they feel that the member could have performed better? Can someone share their response to this? Do we have a share here? Yes. Gregory, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say the answer is no, that it's not up to the Vice President of Education to say this person could have done it better. They completed it. They did the best they could. It's done.
Very good. Yes. You cannot just say arbitrarily, no, I don't want to give it to Gregory. Do it again.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that. That is correct. We have one more before we go on to session 3, the final session, which is going to be the coaches. And this question is out to anyone who would like to answer. Let me bring up the screen again. You know, I've learned through virtual world that you really have to be good at maneuvering your fingers. I thought learning to type was going to be difficult, was going to be a challenge, but hey, I've learned a lot of new things in Zoom world. Scenario 2, the new club has difficulty getting their members to give a speech. What can be done as their club mentor? What can be done as a club mentor to encourage members to give a speech? Who would like to grab that one? Okay, Michael.
could talk to the Vice President of Education and encourage them to get some of the more eager members of the club to set a good example by regularly giving speeches, and also talking to some of the more reluctant members and encourage them, oh, I know you have a great interest in whatever, and it would be a great way to share it with the club so we all get to know you better, and just encourage them to do that. Maybe have some speeches on how to pick speech topics, if it's something beyond the icebreaker.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael, for that share. And I saw Sarah had her hand up as well. That's a great share. All right, Sarah.
That was just such a great answer. But
okay.
I am also potentially like divisive in my methods, where when we had new clubs, I auto assigned the roles because everyone's brand new. So it was just luck of the draw. And so everyone was giving their icebreaker within the first 6 months of the club. And anyone who dropped out, we just followed up with them to make sure that everyone felt included and that no one was left behind.
Awesome. Thank you. We are running late here, aren't we, Anu?
Yes, we have about 6 minutes left.
Or is my Hawaii time not the same as Washington time?
Yeah, we have about 6 minutes left.
That being the case, I will just go through very quickly in what we call a speed slideshow of the club growth. And I will be happy to have discussions later. If those of you would like to stay on later and chat with me, I'll be happy to do that. But we are going to do speed slidings on the club coach. So here we go. We have objectives. And of course, we want to make sure that we cover those objectives. So why do you think we need club coach? Maybe we have low membership. Maybe we have club officers that are a little bit timid to help us grow, and understanding or assisting in developing action plans. I want to share with you, this is what our district looks like as of the dashboard today. Reflects the numbers from yesterday. Club Growth Directors team would have this handy. Clubs under 12 members are 30. Clubs with 8 members are around 11. The clubs below 8 members are 8, and the clubs at 12 members are 8, and there are 4 suspended clubs. We have a total of 61 clubs that need coaching and assistance, whether it was a charter club that you had chartered a couple of years ago and now they're faltering. Get back with them. What does this mean in real numbers? 61 divided by 113 clubs means 54% of our clubs are struggling. These are some of the things we do as a coach. A coach is experienced who partners with a club to help rebuild, to help restore. And the focus is to help the club get better and achieve distinguish, keep instilling enthusiasm. This is an opportunity for all of us. These are some of the skills that you have shared that you could gain from the other rows, same here in this row. Also, there's new requirements. It's printed in the Toastmasters website. This is a new requirement from the old days bygone, but it's been around for several months, so it's not new anymore. So please follow these requirements to be a club coach. I'd encourage you to also look at your own clubs or others that you know of. And the club also has requirements to get a club coach. Make connections with our clubs is primarily what the club coach does, gaining trust and respect, watching the dynamics, and giving a report within 30 days of being appointed as a coach. Make your club connections. You see here, I've visited many clubs, emphasize teamwork, let them know that we're there to help them, a club coach. You only can be a coach for one club. You have to serve a certain amount of time. and you cannot be a member of that club that you are coaching. Stay connected with your club meetings. Do these following things: teach, not do. And there's a status check-in for club coaches. Every 60 days after appointment, you will have to check in with the club extension chair or club retention chair or a club growth director regarding how your clubs are doing. And these are suggestions of things you want to do for the club so that you can help them grow. Finally, you get credit for that success up the hill that you thought was never possible. 6-month minimum term is what's required of service as a club coach. Reporting requirement is required, and there must be written confirmation of completion from the club as well as TI, Toastmasters International will let you know. It would be ideal if you hit 20 paid members, because then you get a bonus. You get to have district leader credit without serving as a district leader. And so everyone, you have participated in what Rose Kirland calls the speed slideshow of the century. Back to you, Madam Program Quality Director Anu, and thank you so much, everyone. I will be sure to share the PowerPoint of all 3 sessions with your Program Quality Director. Please do put into comment. Do not push send yet, but please put into comment what I call the chatterfall. The chatterfall is you put into comment, you do not press send until I say send, and we have a whole rush of waterfall chatter that tell us 1 or 2 or 3 words, what you got out of these sessions today. What was your takeaway? I'll give you time to put it in the chat, and when I say go, then we all send together. So take some moments to put into chat. What are some takeaways that you got from today? And better yet, that you might actually put into actionable action. So please, anything that you got out of this, if it was junk, you can just put a 0. If it was great, please put something in there. But hopefully each one of us got something out of it, even if it's a reminder or something new. All right, so ready, set, go. Oh, look at the waterfall. Don't you love that, Anu? Sarah, Roxanne? Yes, big bravo for all of you. And while that chatterfall is continuing, back to you, Anu, Program Quality Director. I am 1 minute over time. My deepest apologies.
Okay, very good. And I'm going to put the link to the feedback form, so please share what your thoughts are on today. And thank you so much again, Rose. That was fantastic. So yeah, so the feedback form is in the link. It's also, you have the QR code on the agenda. So if you're not able to get the link, please use the QR code. I just have a few quick announcements here that I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see here. Can you all see my screen? Yep. Okay. Very good. And so this year's theme is the year of great meetings, and this was definitely a great meeting. Thank you so much, Rose, for doing this. A few reminders about club officer training dates. We have quite a few. We have 3 in January and another one in February. We have the contest season is coming up, and so it is a reminder, the clubs, it's your choice to do either virtual or in person. And then, but area will be held in person in March, division will be in person in April, and district will be in person at our conference on May 17th. Moments of truth, if you want those D2, 100 D2, please be sure to have that completed by January 31st. And of course, our main event is our conference. It's going to be held at the Linwood Event Center May 16th and 17th. And we are so excited to have Jocelyn Tyson, our 2023 World Champion of Public Speaking, be our keynote. And so they were also having club created baskets this year. So we're going to send more information on that. And then please do buy your tickets, because they're going to go up in January. So now's the best time to purchase those tickets. There's a QR code for that. And then we have a fantastic team here. We have Chrissy Helvagian, our Conference Chair Kelly Faluca, Marketing Chair Rebecca Murray, Education Chair as well as MC, and newly appointed Contest Chair Jeff Copeland. Tommy Price is our Chief Judge. Kendra Smith is our Contest Toastmaster. Betty Gibbons, our Conference Advisor. And Josh Hinman and myself are on the team as well as Sarah. I don't want to forget Sarah. And then we do need some roles still filled, so please feel free to email me if you're interested or if you know of someone interested. So thank you again for joining us here today. And we're only just 3 minutes over time, but I really appreciate it. I think this was such a valuable use of time. And we are going to get those club sponsors, mentors, and coaches into District 2. Thank you so much, Rose.